and welcome to ET Auto. The global megatrends related to the automotive stroke mobility industry are also, in a way, presenting India to really be in the front line when it comes to India, the country as a hub for technology development and innovation. But to achieve that, there are certain fundamental approaches that need to be taken, and new ones which perhaps are not very prevalent today or not practiced widely today. So what could they be? What should they be, rather? To tell us, to discuss this, we have with us Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, eminent scientist and senior technocrat, and currently the chairman of Reliance New Energy Council. Dr. Mashelkar, thank you for sparing our time. Tell us, in this, you were also involved with the automotive industry with various roles, let's say in Tata Motors, with Michelin, and also involved in policy making for National Automotive Fuel Policy Board.
Yes,
right?
Yes, indeed. I was on the Tata Motors board for around 10 years.
Right.
Also, I was corporate innovation board of Michelin in France. Right. I was a member of that for 7 or 8 years, and also KPIT Technologies, right, whose large businesses in automotive electronics. I was the chairman of their innovation council.
As a technology company, it's playing a very key role.
Yeah, and they play a great role. And also, in terms of policy, National Auto Fuel Policy, which came out in 2003, when we moved from equivalent of Euro 2 to Euro 4, that is BS2 to BS4, I was the chairman of that particular committee. Of course, now we have moved ahead. So I've had a outside-in view, right, of this sector.
And we have seen also the transition or the evolution of the Indian automotive industry, you know, as an outsider also, but also involved in a way, some way or the other. But now with all these megatrends happening, especially with softwareization, and where software technology is increasingly playing a very key role, KPIT is a good example of that, how it is, you know, tapping those opportunities. What do you think should be the fundamental approaches, or should there be any kind of shift in the way Indian organizations work, or have the work they have been doing to tap these opportunities and really, to borrow a term from you, pole vault?
Yes, indeed. Not leapfrog, but pole vault, because the size of our aspirations, that is our possibility, basically, and we have to raise them. I think there are a number of things. I think first, innovation is the key. I in India should not stand for imitation or inhibition. It must stand for innovation. Innovation is all about doing things differently to make a difference, okay? So we have to build an innovation ecosystem which is based on Indian talent, Indian technology, and trust, most important, okay? Trusting our young people, basically. They're full of ideas, that's the first part. Secondly, raising the research and development investments. For example, we have remained stagnant at 0.7% of GDP over the last 30 years, but out of which the private sector share has been only 0.2%. Out of which, of course, auto industry R&D plays a very, very important role. We have to raise those levels, because if you look at China, if you look at South Korea, if you look at US, there are 5x, 10x, 12x. Private sector investment I'm talking about. So raising that investment. The third is getting much more out of single dollar that we invest. And for that, the public-private partnerships are very important. Like, for example, when we come to auto industry now, we talk about fuel cells, okay? I'm very proud to say that we have now the proton exchange membrane-based fuel cells, which have been tested, tried, which are ahead of the rest of the world in terms of performance and at a much lower cost, with almost every component indigenized, okay? That happened because of KPIT partnering with National Chemical Laboratory, Central Electrochemical Research Institute, and so on and so forth. So you leverage the combined talent and make it 1 + 1 equal to 11. So these are 1, 2, 3, because our comparative advantage is very huge. And I'm a believer in India as a global R&D platform. I remember my Thapar Memorial Lecture, which I gave in 1995, which was presided over by Dr. Manmohan Singh. And I had said, this is going to happen because of the power of the Indian talent, our ability to create the highest intellectual capital per dollar that we invest in.
Yes. And also, I mean, that reminds me that the Tata Nano was an example of what Indian engineering, India's inherent strengths.
Oh yes.
And in fact, some in the global industry wrote it off. Some got inspired by it and developed similar products.
Oh, there is a book called Nanovation,
Right.
based on the innovation that was done in Tata Nano. Because once you put an envelope of 1 lakh, and within that you have to fit in everything, you know, you have to use the highest level of technological excellence to make that happen.
Right.
Getting more from more is no problem. But getting more from less, because Tata was getting more from less, actually. And I'm a witness to that because I was on the Tata Motors board. And there are more than 70 plus patents and copyrights on that. Can you just imagine the amount of innovation that has been done in this? Unfortunately, what happened was that it became affordable excellence.
But which are the box where it didn't tick? Or which?
No, I think the major issue was its marketing. Because it was marketed as an affordable car. But it was affordable excellence. And that excellence should have been at the front end. Affordable became the front end. And young people now, they don't like cheap. They like excellence. And we should have been talking about selling excellence to them. There's nothing wrong with the car. I mean, if you just see, it was a marvel, I would say. So that was unfortunate, but it opened up a new segment. If you remember, the small car segment, the affordable car sort of segment. Yeah.
Right. So because these kind of opportunities or these kind of stories do not happen very rarely. I mean, one nano which made the entire world look up, take notice. Is there another opportunity that India has?
Oh, yes.
In which area would you put it?
Oh yes, I think there are a number of areas. First of all, you know, IT and IT services, as you have seen, you have grown exponentially. That means there's a talent in terms of if I may use the word digitology, just like you say biology and other logies.
Right.
So digitology, I think our young Indians are fantastic. They do it outside, why can't they do it here? That's number one. Number two is that we can pick up specific sections because the future is going to be autonomous, future is going to be connected, future is going to be green. And there are a number of areas where we are making advances, like green, we talked about. I talked about the fuel cells. But also the other alternative that we are talking about, creating green energy is one side, biofuels is on the other sides. So getting to carbon neutrality while creating sustainable mobility. I would talk not so much as a car or an auto, but mobility. In fact, in the Pune International Center, for example, we are creating a center on sustainable mobility, center of excellence, actually, because it's a holistic view that you have to take, not just technological, not just policy, but also business model, workflow, system delivery. All these innovations have to basically come together.
And talking about green fuels, green mobility, do you think hydrogen could be, as a fuel, could be a game changer?
It will be. It will be. In time to come, it will be. Because as long as the sun shines, which it will shine forever, as long as we have water, and as I said, if we run out of normal water, we can go to sea water. That's another sort of breakthrough.
Source.
That's the raw material. So it is like even when we export hydrogen, we can export hydrogen. It is like shipping sunshine. Just think about it. You get the point. What is raw material? We don't have to depend on those damn fossil fuels.
You don't have to dig the earth.
So what we require are technological breakthroughs. Like for example, you do photocatalysis. Sun is shining, you have water, you have catalyst, and it breaks up water into hydrogen and oxygen. Currently, the efficiencies are low, 1%. If we put all our effort in that and raise it to 10%, it becomes economically viable. What better raw material do you have than hydrogen to create green hydrogen? This is really green hydrogen. So as to not grain hydrogen, grey hydrogen, as we do when we do reforming of natural gas, because you evolve carbon dioxide. I think these are India's opportunities.
But green hydrogen is good, but it's not affordable. quite
at the moment.
At the moment.
At the moment.
And at Reliance, that target of $1 per kg, it's, someone may say it's too wild a dream, maybe, too wild a target.
It is a wild dream. But unless you set those wild dreams, you know, you don't achieve them. Aspirations are your possibilities. Who would have imagined 4 rupees per GB and voice free? You remember Dhirubhai Ambani saying phone call at the cost of a postcard, when you know how much it used to cost, and it was only a privileged few who had a phone, and we had to do the booking so as to make a call. From there, phone call at the postcard was looked crazy at that time. We did it, isn't it? Right. And here also, affordable excellence, 4G LTE, not 2G, not 3G, was made. And now we have Bharat Jio phone, for example. 4G LTE it uses. It costs $12. Who would have cost 999 rupees? When I talked about it in Silicon Valley, they were aghast. I carried a Jio Bharat. A couple of 100 millions of them, they have come. See, so there is a price performance envelope. Okay? Getting more from more is what the Western world does all the time, making it more and more expensive. India looked at doing less from less, that is Jugaad, but getting more from less. If you give 4G LTE at 4 rupees per GB and also the voice free and also the phone costing you just 999 rupees, which is $12, looked impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So India is great in creating affordable excellence. 10x better, 10x cheaper.
So what would be the approach towards achieving that $1 per kilo?
That is where we have to actually look at the grand challenges, get the best of the brains up there, because that will require breakthrough sort of technologies, whether it is the capture, converting, let's say, we talk about areas where the photosynthesis, for example, the efficiencies have to go up by several factors, and it becomes possible when you start using cutting edge science. And that cutting edge science previously used to come by trial and error and so on and so forth. Now there are AI tools, artificial intelligence tools. For new molecule, we have to struggle for long, many years to get a new molecule. Now AI is giving you thousands of new molecules, for example, whether it is in catalysis, whether it is in drugs and therapeutics, whether it is in new energy materials, and so on and so forth. And what has happened is that these tools are affordable now. Previously, our major challenge was not, they were not affordable.
They were not.
You know, who would have thought, you know, when I did the analysis of unicorns, who would have thought that a country where in 2016, until that time we had 1 unicorn per year, in 2021, 1 unicorn per week. 44, not 52, but almost. And 50% of them, I did the analysis, came from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Not just IITs and IIMs. Would we have imagined that? So I think it is all about dreaming and achieving.
Lastly, as the as the world kind of looks at decarbonizing and carbon neutrality being the ultimate goal, India has set, say, 2070. There's also growing discussions, and these efforts have been going on for some time, but it's still not reached a commercialization stage. E-fuels or synthetic fuels. Do you think that holds a practical solution?
Again, I'm a great believer that 3 Ds are going to drive the world: digitalization, decentralization, and decarbonization. And they're all linked, as you can quite clearly see. I think COVID showed, for example, the only way we could do the learning was, or do office work, was from distance, and it also led to decarbonization, so as to say. So one will lead to the other, and that will sort of drive. The technological advances, it is not the rate of change. It is not even the rate of change. It is the rate of change. They are so rapid. I mean, look at generative AI. Okay, ChatGPT. I mean, within no time, hundreds of millions started actually using it. And its impact is phenomenal if you start using that. I myself use generative AI, by the way, in a lot of my work. And it is amazing. It's not just about efficiencies. It is about the infinite possibilities that are thrown out. You know, that's what is possible. Previously, all those technologies looked distant, but because they are affordable, because we have built the digital public infrastructure like never before, you know, I think that becomes possible, provided we take young talent, equip them with affordable, accessible technology, and trust them dare to dream. You know, and I interact with vast number of young people having these awards and so on and so forth, and they have ideas which are out of the box. Like I just now showed the grand challenges, the KPIT 2025. You can quite clearly see. So we'll make it.
Okay. On that note, Dr. Mashelkar, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure and an enriching experience, learning experience talking to you. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this very interesting conversation with senior technocrat and eminent scientist, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar. Till we meet again, take care. Goodbye.